So basically, the short definition of a color theory is an understanding of how colors work. I'm so sorry, I'm like all up in my rooftop. It is just a guideline in that there's no restrictions on what colors you can mix and match together. And when we talk about fashion, because fashion is art and that's how people are able to express themselves. So for many people, we understand primary colors. So primary colors are red, blues, and yellows. There's also complementary colors: red, green, orange, blue, and yellow and purple. So we see on each end that the complementary colors are on opposite ends of each other. So our warm colors are basically our reds, orange, and yellows, and then the cool tone colors would be green, blue, and purple. But this is not all correct, because we also have to take a deeper look into the colors and the undertones that they have. So here are some more definitions I'm gonna put up. We also have to understand colors in art terms: shades, tones, hues, and undertones. Hues are the colors that we see, the generic understanding of how we interpret colors. So hues are basically our reds, orange, yellow, greens, blue, purples, and so forth and so forth. Maybe even grays, black, whites, silver, stuff like that. Tints are the lighter a color gets. So it's just basically how much white is put into a color. So let's say red. If we put more white into red, it would eventually turn out into like a pinky rosy color. And shade is when black is added into the color. So if we add more black into red, it will eventually turn into more of a maroon or burgundy color. And then maybe blue, if we add more black into it, it'd be more navy-like, or maybe even indigo. So tone in colors is how much gray is added to a color. So here are some examples and how they make a color very more enhanced. So all of these are undertones that make a color more explicit and give them more character instead of just categorizing them into their hues. Tones are more complex. Some people might categorize some colors into a red or a purple. The complexity of it all does advocate into our colors and how we see these colors and what we do with them. So going back onto warm and cool tones, we also have to understand that colors will look different on everyone based on our undertones. So our undertones is not the shade of color that we are. So for myself, I would consider myself a neutral. Some ways that you can figure out whether you're cool, warm, or neutral tones is by doing several tests. I know I've seen people do the most basic, the vein test. So it's looking at your veins and then looking at it and seeing what color veins you have. So whether it is blue, green, or purple, that will determine your undertone. So you can see I have a mix of both. I have two colors. Then also seeing what jewelry, and this one is a little bit tricky to understand, but understanding jewelry and what jewelry fits you the best. So whether it's silver or gold, that will help you determine your undertone. See, and if we want to be more in depth and get more fancy with it, we can also talk about the seasonal color analysis, which basically is a subdivision of dividing your personal colors into warm tones, cool tones, and neutral tones. So they are split into the seasons and then those subgroups of those seasons. These colors are the colors that best suit your skin tone and your undertone because it enhances your features and it just helps you look a little more better with it. Of course, it's not restrictive, but you can also include these colors in your accessories. And even then, you don't have to use these colors at all, but it does help you and help you to expand more on your styling preferences. But at least you'll sooner or later you will understand what suits you best and what doesn't, and there's always going to be trial and error, but these things really do enhance your seasonal closet. Then you can also look into your closet and seeing if you have those clothing colors already or not. Then you could always look into it the next time you're going shopping. But again, this is all personal preference and it's your personal taste. It's your closet, so always be open to new ideas. Don't feel restricted and always continue to explore.